Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, the last several videos, we've been having a great time, and I left the board just about how I finished the last video. Our goal is still to find out how to create memories, or how we create them from the outside energy system. So I'm going to quickly go through this model up to this point, and then we'll change it. So a slight review, but I suggest you going to the other last two videos, which will give the same thing in a little bit depth. We're having a little green tea today. So it's loose tea in a bag that I bought 400 bags from Amazon, and it works pretty good. So now, the title of this one is, of course, this is the overall, how to create memories. But this one will be entitled, You Create Memories, and they're not events. We get confused between thinking our memory of something that happened is the something that happened, and it's not. These are two different things. Your memory of an event and the event, two different things altogether. But in the egoic world, you think they're the same thing. They're not. And that's what I want to make clear. We are living in an illusion. This is only some of that illusion. Now, you notice in the diagram, the outer ring is the body, the inner ring is the subconscious mind, and the center, or the cauldron, is where your world is created. Where your world is created. Your world isn't outside of you. Your real world's inside. Your real world is inside. And if you want a different world, you got to change the inside, not the outside. The outside's an effect of what you're doing inside. That's what manifesting is about. You think that you're going to manifest something from out here. No, you're not. You're going to manifest from the inside and project it outside. And so you think it comes from the outside. Part of the illusion. Now, in this model, you'll notice that the eyes, smell, taste, hearing, and touch are shown as arrows. That information from the senses is shown on arrows that penetrate the body but go into the mind. That penetrate the body, the information from the senses does not go to the body. The body has no facilities for handling the raw data. So that's part of the illusion. Oh, my eyes see things. Your eyes don't see nothing except energy in a certain form. Well, I smell stuff. No, you don't smell stuff through your nose. You take information in and you make a determination, a judgment on what that information is. Nothing you think the senses do, they really do. I get a little excited about this. Now, the other thing that we talked about, and then we'll get back to this and back to the cauldron or where you make your world. The senses operate, as we talked about last time, around 11 billion bits of data per second. Bits of data is a computer term. Bits of data is how you tell how fast the computer's working. How fast can it process stuff? So altogether, your senses process or bring into the body about 11 million bits of data per second. Now, your subconscious mind is where that information is filtered, looking for what is essential or what is relevant to you. So you take the outside information from all your senses and you bring it into the subconscious mind that quickly goes through that data. Now it can quickly, the subconscious mind can quickly go through the data because it operates around 400 billion bits of data per second. So you've got millions coming in, billions processing that information. And what is the filter that's used to determine what is relevant for you? Your past experiences. And what are your past experiences? Memories. And we're in the process of looking at how we create those memories. Now, already you should begin to get the idea that this outside information and the inside processing, when it's done, the filtered information, not the same. Not the same. Because you're picking up a whole bunch of stuff, most of which is not relevant to you. You don't have all that kind of experience. And so what you don't have reference to is disregarded. Goes away. So the input and what you, after you filter, two different things. But it's the relevant data that creates your world in this cauldron. In the present moment. Everything happens in the present moment. So now, this kind of brings us up to where we're at. Oh, by the way, your conscious mind that you're so concerned about operates at 100 maximum. 100 bits per second. So here we got behind the scene this undulating energy moving around, interfacing with each other, things getting thrown out, things coming together at millions to billions of bits of information per second. And you're standing there in your conscious mind in your underwear, operating at 100 bits per second. Normally, average 40. And now you're saying, oh no, he's not telling the truth because my eyes and my conscious mind see all kinds of stuff. As I said before, no, you don't. But because of your programming, you believe you do. And when I stated that before, I stated another truism. The truth isn't important. Bottom line, truth isn't important. However, what you believe, your programming, your belief system, what you believe is true, that's important. Do you see the subtle difference? So now we're going to leave this model, recognize the cauldron here is basically, at least how I see it, in this cauldron is your mind, your conscious, subconscious, all of that mind, your brain, which is a processor. It's a processor. The brain is a processor. I talked before about how you give a signal to the brain and it's consistent in how it moderates that signal, what it processes. It's not programming. There's no programming in the brain. Programming comes from the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where all of that stuff comes together that tells you what your world is. Also, the central nervous system as the way of communicating the interpretation of the mind and the signals that come out of the brain. So now we're going to transition. And like magic, we've changed our model. The most important thing is to recognize your world comes out of the cauldron in the center. Now, some of you may be familiar with an old movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? And I think you can still get it on Amazon. I think I still got it. Now, in that, it's kind of a cute story, and it's interesting to look at, but at one point, it shows that in the morning, when the person gets up, goes to the drapes or the window, opens the drapes or the shade, and you very quickly see the outside world come into focus. This is what happens here. Now, you process, if you're thinking about visual, your brain processes much like a motion picture camera. It brings the information into the brain, and then creates a still picture from all of that data. And then it creates another still picture. And then it creates another still picture. Now these frames, like in motion pictures, are around 30 frames per second. And you need it that high, or it doesn't look flowy. It doesn't flow. It doesn't look like motion. It looks like the old black and white, where they kind of move around and you can see the different frames. But the brain does it really quick. But they are individual created images that go really fast. This makes your world. This is the world you believe you live in. But you believe it's outside. Now it creates it in the present moment. This is important to remember. You create it in the present moment. So you create your world around 30 frames per second in the present moment. Then there's another world, following the same process, except for the conscious mind. The system in the background is so fast. The conscious mind, so slow. Never knows what's happening. And therefore, neither do you. And so you believe what the conscious mind tells you. So what's it tell you? Your world's outside. Why does it do that? Because that's your belief system. And the conscious mind is following your belief system. In the egoic world, the outside is the real world. The inside, well, that's just in your head. It's not real. It's not really real. But what out here, this is really real. You got to begin to change your belief system. You're not dealing with the true facts. And this goes all through science too. Not that science isn't important, but their lens is different. If they would change their lens, science might move a lot quicker. So now in the present moment you make this. And then in the next present moment you got another world. I'll say that again. You make your world in the present moment. And then, in the next present moment, you have another world. What happened to the one previous? What happened to the one just before the new world came into effect? Listen closely. The old world is your memory. The old world is your memory. So in the present moment, you are making worlds. And then they flow as a memory into the subconscious mind. Now, we haven't talked about, there are all kinds of theories out there. Some of them are good, some of them are as crazy as mine. One of them is called many worlds, or parallel universes. You are creating a parallel universe, except you have it as a completed memory that you can draw on. Now that completed memory is in the subconscious mind and becomes part of the filtering system for the next present moment world. It's infinite. It's infinite. And that's why we get caught in the idea, well, I know it's a big pie, but when you take pieces off of it, the infinity gets smaller. No, it doesn't. Take a look at new information from science. Our universe is expanding. It's not getting smaller because we're here. It's expanding. It's infinite, and it's getting more infinite. How to create memories. Now, this might not be the only process, or it might be changed, but it is a model that represents how you create your world, and therefore it has all of the information that you need to change your world. And that's what it's all about. When you move away from the illusion and recognize you're living in an illusion, then you can step behind it and find out what reality is and who you really are. Now, I always try to throw a little something in here from the Course in Miracles. And this is one that I picked. And you notice I pick what fits what I'm talking about. So I'm very cautious about usually what I pick. And this one says, there is no link of memory to the past. And in another case, it says, the past is nothing. The past is meaningless. It is a construction that you have made just for you. And that's why my inner world is different from yours. And your inner world is different than your significant other. And your inner world is different from every other person. It is so interesting. So the memory that comes from this outside energy and the event, which is the outside energy, two different things. You believe they're the same, but they're two different things. They're not the same at all. So your memory of this created world is not the event that happened out here. Your conscious mind, operating at 100 bits per second, believes there's an outside world. By observing your inside world, that belief system of the conscious mind projects it onto here. And you, through your senses, believe it's there. Strange world. Nothing in the illusion is what you think it is. There's a lot to talk about here, and we'll take some time to absorb this. Now, if you have any questions, any comments, whether you think it's the real thing or not the real thing, or you have your own ideas, put them in a comment below, and we'll see if we can work them into another video. So be good to yourself, and we look forward to seeing you. Oh, this is a crazy place. Next time, here in the illusion. Bye now.
Belle che nel meta